The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. I think their decision was terrible. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? Well, I think that foreign interests are represented by people that I believe have undue influence. They have a lot of influence over the Supreme Court, whether it's through fear or respect or friendships, I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so that's President Trump railing against the Supreme Court ruling yesterday that undid the bulk of his tariffs. And of course, that's the signature part of his administration's economic plan. The 6-3 decision finding the president could not impose tariffs under the emergency powers law that he had been using. Trump has since issued 15% global tariffs that are set to begin on Tuesday. Big effects here. NewsNation's Kellie Meyer live at the White House tracking this for us. Kellie.
Yeah, hey there, Natasha. So President Trump defiant tonight, despite 6 of the 9 justices ruling against his tariffs, including justices he nominated for the bench, and as Americans overwhelmingly disagree with the tariff push. President Trump only upping his global tariffs today from 10 to 15% effective immediately, and writing this on True Social. Quote, during the next short number of months, the Trump administration will determine and issue the new and legally permissible tariffs, which will continue our extraordinarily successful process of making America great again, he says. Now, I was inside the briefing room when President Trump made a rare appearance there, complete with that dramatic new lighting there, moments after that ruling, to blast the Supreme Court and vow he was moving on to Plan B.
We're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place, but it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more time, but the end result is going to get us more money, and I think it's going to be great.
Now, those global tariffs are only in effect for about 150 days, and then after that, he'll need the help of Congress to keep them in place. The big question is, will he want to, especially if he sees tariffs are hurting Republicans ahead of the midterms? With those numbers, you see 63% disapprove of the president's tariffs. The president already tonight unendorsing a Republican who voted against his tariffs and endorsing someone else. So Illinois Democratic Governor Jamie Pritzker now sending the president an invoice for $8.6 billion, asking for a refund for his constituents for the tariffs, daring President Trump to, quote, cut the check. And we still don't know, Natasha, how the money already collected will be refunded and what new challenges could lie ahead of this new tariff plan. Natasha.
Yeah, I appreciate you tracking all of that. And meanwhile, Kellie, President Trump confirming he is weighing all options this weekend, including potential military strikes on Iran. So what are we monitoring there?
Yeah, as far as we know, President Trump still has yet to decide whether or not he will move ahead with military action in Iran. We also don't know what any attack may look like, but he certainly is gathering enough manpower to fulfill a range of options at his fingertips. So here's a look at the military hardware collected so far in the Middle East, with more still on the way. 2 aircraft carriers, warships, fighter jets, all at the president's disposal, and also could be pressuring Iran to come to the table. A U.S. official telling me that Iran is expected to present a written proposal to the U.S. in the coming days. Now, Iran at the same time is threatening that, quote, all bases, facilities, and assets would be targets in response to U.S. strikes. President Trump still pushing for Iran to come to the table, and he was also asked if he had a message for the people of Iran. Listen to this.
They better negotiate a fair deal. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time.
And now the president just wrapping up an event here with governors at the White House. So we know he is here in Washington and can be monitoring this at any time. Natasha.
Kellie Meyer live at the White House for us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.